So it looks like 2025 will be the year when rules and laws are talked about and even made, which will have an effect on this space for years to come. Again, if we look at what's really going on right now, we can see that big banks, asset management firms, and other businesses are all jumping in to use blockchain-based technology, picking specific networks and tokenizing at very high rates. Also, this is all happening at a time when the market isn't even controlled. Tokenization is now worth about $20 billion, 0 cents. Big banks are starting to use blockchain for payments. Swift is talking about DLT experiments, and the DTCC is launching blockchain-based systems. Just think what will happen when this space is controlled. To start, let's say hello to everyone on the channel. My name is Nick. If you're new to the channel, you can become a subscriber by the end of this movie. Recently, Smoke Dog posted two. I'll post these two. The first one is that the new framework for crypto assets is now fully in place. This is from the European Banking Authority, by the way. In April 2025, the European Banking Authority confirmed that the new framework for crypto assets is now fully in place. The new rules for EU crypto assets went into effect on December 31, 2024. This includes, of course, mejor, the transfer of cash, and some rules and changes to the directive about crypto assets. CSPs need to set up strong processes and controls to make sure they aren't used for illegal things. Along with this is from Signum, and they're actually quoting it. Clear US rules mean that big money will start coming in earnest in 2025. Right now, we can already see that the whole regulatory scene is changing. We just need to wait. When we really look at what's going to happen by the end of this year, the most important thing is that stablecoin legislation is due by August. Besides that, rules about crypto are already getting a lot of attention and changing around the world. I believe this is happening faster because of what the US is doing. A lot more money will start to come in, a lot more people will start to use this technology, and a lot more partnerships, collaborations, and news will be made about it. But what's crazy is that we also go over here to where we had responders. As a side note, these are established players. This comes from Ernst & Young, Parthenon, and then Coinbase. So most of the people who answered plan to increase their investments in digital assets in 2025 because they think they will earn more than other types of assets. Institutional investors not only think that crypto will do much better than other asset classes, but they're also beginning to get involved because they know how big this space will be, not just this year, but also in the years to come. We have the years 2024 and 2025 here. This means that our holdings have grown a lot. That's about 16% for 2025 compared to 24% in 2024 and staying at 67% for 61 to 60. One big reason for this is that family offices and hedge funds are very optimistic. 25% plan to greatly increase their holdings in 2025 compared to only 12% of other types of firms. We have holdings that stayed the same, 12% versus decreased holdings, 3% versus 1%. And then holdings that decreased significantly, i.e. 0.000. Next is, which of the following do you think are the most important reasons to invest in digital assets? On the right side, and on top of that, it had better results than other types of assets. Investing in new technology, protecting yourself from inflation, having low correlation with other assets, being able to take part in decentralized finance, making money, finding exchange opportunities, and finally getting transaction benefits. The last 8% is due to a lack of other good chances across the portfolio. The top 3 are investments in new technology, better returns than other asset classes, and protection against inflation. When we think about what will happen in the next few weeks, months, or even years, all 3 of these are great reasons to invest in digital assets, since we know that inflation will keep getting out of hand because governments can't stop printing money. That easy, okay? Besides that, the trade war and talks about tariffs will speed up the printing of money, which will only make prices go up again. When it comes to new technologies, we already know that the room is being used at a very fast rate. We also know that we have done better than gold and even stocks in other asset classes over time when it comes to bigger returns. That makes a lot of sense. But besides this, we also have the rate at which institutions are adopting digital assets over here. And this was on the web page for Talos, and we have institutions down here. This time they are real. Anton looked at market trends. and said that even though the industry has been saying for a long time that institutions are coming, 2024 was the first year that real institutional draw was seen. He said that Talos recently added companies that are in charge of about $18 trillion, 0 cents in assets, along with hedge funds that are in charge of $100 billion, 0 cents in assets. Talos's infrastructure is also being used by institutional brokers who serve 150 million retail users to provide access to digital assets. On top of that, the increased trading action also shows that the market is mature. Again, these big jumps that are 6 to 7 times the average are just starting to show up. The needs of institutions are changing because they can use more modern tools. This is where we could see what they need. But besides that, we have legal clarity at the bottom, which is the last piece of the puzzle. Yes, we are aware that rules will greatly facilitate entry. As soon as I see the market start to really work, I think it should be regulated. A lot of money, not just trillions of dollars, I think will fill this space. It's important to remember that the big players from the government are already here. They are already linked. As I already said, Bank of America, Morgan Stanley, and other big banks and players said they were ready back in January. So, I've always said that clear regulations are like flipping a switch. All they need is that green light. That's where we first see the lights turn on. After that, the lights won't be turned off. Though this video from J64 is even stranger than everything else. Now, it's clear that this is a talk about Bitcoin, but this is with Matt from Bitwise. Most businesses will have at least $1 million 0 cents in Bitcoin on hand. All of these companies say Bitcoin will reach $1 million 0 cents. If that happens, just think where XRP will go, right? If companies are this bullish on Bitcoin, and they're using networks like the XRP ledger, just think about what the price prediction for XRP will be. I think it's time to really get into this, because there is a lot to talk about. We already know that interest from institutions is growing. With all the news going around, that doors are really opening for them. For example, the FDIC, the Fed, and even the OCC have all given the go-ahead. But look at this, being able to balance a medium to long-term view of Bitcoin with the realities of being a big institutional investor, such as having to report every 3 months, and all the other things that come with that. That's likely a real driver, and it does cause people to act in certain ways. However, this is also why I believe that some methods are better. For example, putting Bitcoin into different asset allocations, seeing Bitcoin as a tool, and being able to explain medium to long-term views on Bitcoin while using its volatility to change the outcomes of other assets are some examples. That's where I think we can start to indirectly get a lot of Bitcoin from all of these companies. But my starting point is that, say, 50 to 70% of institutions have an acceptance curve that goes through 2 or 3 cycles. Most businesses will have more than $1 million in Bitcoin on hand. By what year? I think Michael Saylor said it very well when he said that we want to issue 98% of